The first time anyone spoke to Vinícius at the agency, it was to ask for more coffee. He wasn't on the payroll, not even officially an intern. He had begged for a chance to be around, and the manager had reluctantly let him come in as long as he helped keep the place clean. So he swept the floors, took out the trash, refilled water bottles. In exchange, he could sit in the corner and watch people work. Vinícius was 17, from the outskirts of São Paulo, the youngest of 4. His mom cleaned houses, his dad disappeared when he was a baby. They had no Wi-Fi at home, so Vinícius downloaded coding PDFs at a LAN house, read them offline at night, and practiced in a notebook using pen and paper. He didn't even own a computer, but he knew he wanted to be a developer. The agency was small but chaotic, full of noisy creatives, stressed-out project managers, and screens everywhere. It was heaven to him. But no one noticed him. Not really. People didn't remember his name. Some called him, "Hey kid." One guy left a sandwich wrapper on his desk every day. Another one said, "We should get someone useful around here." He laughed. Everyone else laughed too, but Vinícius didn't. He watched and learned. Every broken process, every missed deadline, every confused client call, he absorbed it all. He noticed how they used 10 different tools for simple tasks, how they repeated the same meetings, how they had to search their own inbox for client notes. He kept a secret notebook, not for cleaning schedules, but for system ideas. At night, after everyone had gone home, Vinícius would stay. He slept on a beanbag in the supply room, surrounded by broken keyboards and leftover swag. In the quiet, he opened a borrowed laptop and started building. It wasn't much at first, just a dashboard idea. Then came modules, then notifications, then AI summaries of client feedback. He had no UI skills, so it was ugly, but it worked. 3 months in, the agency's biggest account fell through, a major blow. People were laid off, there was panic. Vinícius left without saying goodbye. He spent the next 5 years working for small startups, often unpaid, always in the background. But he kept refining that tool, that dashboard. He renamed it SyncCore, a platform that consolidated communication, project management, feedback, and timelines in one clean interface, seamless, lightweight, built by someone who understood chaos from the inside. A mentor he met at a co-working cafe helped him polish the pitch. Another helped him find seed funding. By 26, he was leading a team of 12 developers. SyncCore had clients across Latin America, small agencies, freelancers, and NGOs that couldn't afford bloated enterprise tools. But then came an unexpected email from the same agency where it all started. They were in trouble. Bad management, outdated systems, and a shrinking client base. They were looking for efficiency tools. They wanted a trial account of SyncCore. He didn't reply, not yet. Instead, he walked into the office unannounced. Same beanbags, same water cooler, different faces, but a few old ones too. He sat in the conference room, now as a prospective investor. And when one of the managers asked who he was, he smiled and said, "I'm Vinícius. You used to call me Hey Kid."
The silence in the room was sharp. A few people blinked. Others exchanged glances. The manager who had just asked Vinícius who he was, the same man who once called him the Coffee Kid, gave a half laugh. But Vinícius wasn't joking. He leaned forward and placed a SyncCore pitch deck on the table. 10 years ago, I slept in your storage room. Today, I can buy this agency. The agency was drowning in inefficiency. Staff turnover was high. Clients were complaining about delays and mixed-up deliverables. Budgets were bleeding. SyncCore was exactly the tool they needed, and now they realized it had been born under their own roof. The irony stung. But Vinícius wasn't there for revenge. He was there for something better: transformation. He offered them a deal: full access to SyncCore, personalized onboarding, and process optimization in exchange for equity. And one condition: everyone had to go through his training program, from interns to directors. A few grumbled, but most agreed. They had no choice, and Vinícius began to rebuild the agency that once ignored him from the inside out. He hired young developers from underprivileged backgrounds, paid them well, gave them mentors, created a scholarship named after his mother. He brought in therapists, built rest areas, started weekly honesty huddles where no one could interrupt anyone else for 10 minutes. Within 18 months, the agency doubled its client base, reduced delivery errors by 72%. Employee satisfaction soared. But Vinícius didn't stay. He had new projects, new dreams, a fintech for low-income entrepreneurs, an education app for nonverbal children, a microgrant platform for ex-convicts. Before he left, he had one final meeting with the agency's leadership. He handed them a note. On it, a sentence: "Never underestimate the kid sweeping floors." And a code giving them lifetime free access to every version of SyncCore. He walked out with the same quiet confidence he had walked in with 10 years earlier. Except now, the whole room stood up when he did. Today, Vinícius Silva is the CEO of V1 Group, a tech collective that has launched 14 startups focused on accessibility, equity, and inclusion. He speaks 5 languages, has honorary degrees, but still says the best education he ever got was watching broken systems from a corner no one looked at. When asked in an interview what he wants to be remembered for, he replied, "I was invisible, and I built tools